Welcome to the Rise as One podcast. I am your host. Happy Veterans Day yesterday to all my fellow veterans out there. I was just full of gratitude yesterday. I just sat there and I went deep into the Revolutionary War, World War I, World War II, up into all the wars leading up to the Vietnam Wars that stuck out in my mind from all the stuff those guys had to go through. And then into the recently more of the Afghanistan and Iraq wars and how these guys are losing their limbs. And man, I went so deep. We had a big group ritual yesterday with some of the guys in my brotherhood. Man, was that deep. So I was talking about yesterday on the call with the guys was that the Revolutionary War. And I didn't know a lot about it. You guys saw that I was down there in Pennsylvania at Valley Forge, and we visited George Washington's home. And I found out that George Washington, a lot of those troops, they were killing all the animals around their grounds there, so they had no food. They had no water. They had to go outside to hunt to bring food back in. And then they had to march all the way to the Delaware River, 60-something miles. I'm like, those are real men. And I talked to Lou about it yesterday. You guys know Lou Russo. He's like, yeah, some of those guys, they were chopping off their toes. They were losing their toes when they got to the river. They had no shoes, no food, no water. And I talked to the guy inside of George Washington's home. He says, yeah, George Washington sat right here by his bed, and he prayed before he left. It shows you the power of prayer. But I just wanted to come to you guys and share some of the insights I received yesterday. Give a big shout out to so many people out there that serve this great country of ours. And nothing more and first and foremost than my dad. Dad, thank you. You are my hero. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'd be. I saw those pictures growing up, my dad sitting next to tanks, feeding squirrels with his military outfit. And most of us guys, when we grow up, we see that stuff, say, I want to be like my dad. So thank you, Dad. I love you. My father-in-law, John Burke, World War II veteran, God rest his soul, passed away a few years ago. Gave me another great gift, my beautiful bride. Thank you. Lou Russo, another World War II veteran, 100 years old. A lot of you saw his story. Just celebrated his 100th birthday party here in August. Thank you, Lou. Thank you for yesterday. Me and Lou had a great conversation yesterday. He says hello to everybody out there. He's still here. But Lou is a man amongst men. He is just so with it. We were able to hook up his chair yesterday. We have a hydraulic lifter. We have to get it under his arms there because he's been wheelchair bound now for 2 years. And he's been in a little bit of a funk lately because he's like any guy that's been in the military. All you guys have been in the military, you know that when you serve, it's not about you. It's no longer about you. We signed a declaration that says, in that contract, it says, I will protect the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that oath that we take never ends. A big shout out to Dan Gay at Operation Vet Fit. Dan is the one that got the phone call from Senator McLaughlin. Thank you, Senator. If it wasn't for these men, who knows where Lou would be right now? If he'd still be on this earth, all he wanted to do was move back into his house, where he built with his bare hands. Tom Cummings, who assisted in those links. Thank you, Tom, for your service in the Navy. My cousin Amanda, for your service in the Navy. Thank you. I'm beyond grateful for all of you. Herbie Vanessa, and I saw Sarah Vanessa, your post yesterday. Touched my heart. Your dad went in, it's now Sarah went in. See how that works? It's the effect of how we just keep continuing to push forward. And I know I was just down in South Carolina with Dan Welch, Pat Visconti, Bradley Noon, all you guys with Operation Vet Fit. Todd Angel is what I call you. They call you Angel. His name is spelled Angell. I believe you are an angel on this earth, brother. You saved a lot of lives, man. I honor you. Appreciate you. I know I got my Uncle Cliff served. Thank you. I'll be seeing you this Friday. Going to my aunt and uncle's house for a little dinner. Eddie Jimenez. I met you a few years ago when you lost your brother. Thank you. From Marine. Frank Peterson. I'm going off memory here, guys. I wrote your names down. Trying to remember your names. John Jowdy, saw you not too long ago at Help Our Military Heroes. Lori and Ted Hollander, thank you guys. What an amazing organization you guys have. And I know they've given away over 100 vans for the veterans coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq that don't have any limbs. But they still have their arms, they don't have their legs, they can still drive these vans. Thank you, guys. What a beautiful send-off that was. I saw John Jowdy and Lisa Antos and all these guys. We were all competing burpees and push-ups as teams. Sean McGee, you were the DJ that day. What a beautiful way to honor those who have fought and paid the ultimate sacrifice. Those men that marched from Valley Forge, 60-something miles with no shoes, no food, no water, fought and won because I talked to Lou. This is what Lou told me yesterday. They caught him sleeping. That's how they were able to win. They had no idea these crazy Americans were coming. And they trained. And George Washington, thank you. Train those troops. Strength and honor and dignity, discipline, all the things that it takes to win. I was looking through some of the numbers this morning, absolutely crazy. It was like 50 million people died. 50 to 80 million was the estimate, civilian and soldiers in World War I. Over 116,000 U.S. troops paying the ultimate sacrifice so we can be here today. World War II was 25 million people, 400,000 U.S. troops. Lou Russo's brother was one of the first waves at Normandy. For all of you that lost people in that war, sorry for your loss, but we are here today to honor them. It's up to us to continue to carry that torch, continue to fight for our freedoms, for what all of our forefathers did. That Declaration of Independence. I remember that clear as day. Mrs. Benzo's class of 6th grade reading that thing. What those men must have gone through to fight for our freedom. So today I come to you with this podcast with a grateful heart and thankful for our freedoms, not to take them lightly. I said to the guys on the call yesterday, we have the balls to complain about what we have today when these men, women fought so we can be here with a roof over our head, food on our tables. We don't have to hunt for the food. Healthy bodies. And the list goes on with all that have fought and served. Pat Callahan, Mike. I served with Mike King. Thank you, Mike. 2 years back in 1987, 89, out in Fort Shafter. And Schofield Barracks. I was in both of those. Jim Brady, if you're listening to this, thank you. I served with you too, brother. Mike was still serving up to, I think, 2 years ago, Mike. I think you're still doing some civilian stuff, but 30-something years serving our country. Thank you. All those that have served and paid the sacrifices for their families so we can be free. It's been an honor and a privilege to roll with you. But I know in my heart we're just getting started. There's more fighting to do. I posted on my picture yesterday, we are freedom fighters. And I know John Marco Palacios down in Nicaragua right now, they are fighting for their freedom. One of the guys that took over the country from the 80s, he was a freedom fighter. They fought and won. He took over the country. Now he's the one doing the same thing that happened back in the 80s. And they're back to square one, fighting for their freedoms. And we have the audacity to complain about what we have. A little bit of an ache and pain. We have heat, food, healthy bodies, water. That is gratitude. So I encourage each and every one of you listening to this podcast out there today. If you feel like your life and you're stuck and I made a post the other day about if you're going through hell, don't stop. Keep moving forward. Think about those men that have fought. Think about the soldiers that marched from Valley Forge all the way to that river with bare feet in the winter. So you can be here today. The World War I veterans, the World War II veterans, Korean Wars, the Vietnam, they had trench foot, malaria, in the swamps. Think about that, going into a swamp and coming out and have to wear those clothes for the day. The Viet Cong were putting bamboo and putting feces on it, so when you fell into those holes and you cut your foot, then you got trench foot, you couldn't walk. The pain, the suffering those men must have went through. That is real. Until just recently here with Afghanistan, Iraq. And I know Todd, Silver Star recipient. Thank you, brother. I was reading the post here on Facebook. What did it say with the, let me see, I pull it up for you guys here. Brandon Rumbaugh was saved. His life was saved by Todd. He said, one of the happiest days of my life is being able to hand Todd Angel. I'm going to call you Angel, brother, because you are. His Silver Star after our deployment in Afghanistan. That day he saved my life. He was calm. He promised everything would be okay. There's many times that he saved someone's life, and during that 7-month tour, the one thing you need to know, he treated every patient the same. A Marine, a local Afghanistan, a Taliban, he did his job. And to me, that is a true hero. That's badass, brother. You are a beast. That's why I do what I do. I think about those men that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for me to be here today. I don't take that lightly. That's why we do these podcasts. We're going to be putting a team of people together here very shortly. I'll be putting an event together here in December. I come to serve from the day I enlisted to the day they put me in the ground. So thank you to all of you that served this great country. Paulie Trudell, Bill Ruppel. I see you. I see the sacrifices you guys paid. I won't let you down. I can't speak for the rest of the people. I'm going to give it everything I got until they put me in that ground. And I know the war has just begun. I see the suffering. I go into my meditations. I visualize Carl Knapp. You lost your daughter. Opiate addictions. I think about that almost daily. What can I do today to end the suffering? It's no longer about me. How do we collectively rise as one to end it? People are suffering with no homes. They're homeless, no food, living in the park benches. Just got back from Tennessee. They're standing on the side of the highway everywhere down there with signs. It's all across this great country. Nowhere to go. I have a plan I'm working on right now. But I'm only one man. But I know there are many of you watching this right now that will join me in this fight to make a difference so we can rise as one. I am just getting started. My body's healthy. We just came back from Stamford, Connecticut, all my brothers down there. Went through a CrossFit, 38 minutes straight CrossFit. The next day, I wasn't even sore. Turning 52 years old next month. Not even sore. How is that possible? And I read your posts, back surgeries, hip surgeries. I believe it was because that commitment I made at 18 years old to serve this great country that got me into the shape to continue to fight at this stage of my game, of my life, to help all of us rise. I see a lot of people out there very selfish, the takers of the world, I call them. They just take. And they wonder why they don't have anything. It's because when you take, you have to be taken from. But if you give, like these fellow soldiers, DeAndre Perkins, just enlisted. When you give, that's how you receive. You have to give first. Whatever you want, give it to the next person. They call that the boomerang of life. It'll come back to you. But Dan Gaeta and your organization keeps getting voted every year. I was thinking about you yesterday, brother. I was at Lou's house. I looked around the room and I saw everything up on the walls, or how Lou was recognized. I said, it's almost time to stage life where Dan Gaeta gets recognized. We'll get all those things on your wall too, brother. AJ Biddlecomber is down there with you. Dan Welch sharing those stories with me about the Vietnam War. This guy was on the front lines, reconnaissance. He saw it all, done it all. Still here fighting. Thank you, brother. Got to enjoy a great 2 or 3 days with him down in South Carolina on the ranch. Kieran and AJ, thank you. I have a great memory. Blessed to remember where I was, but more importantly, who do I need to become to end the suffering? What do I need to do today to get stronger for tomorrow's battles? There's always going to be challenges in life. It's not how you start the fight. It's how you finish. And who you help along the way. Lift them up. I tried saving people last year. That didn't work out very well for me. I am not saving people in 2019. Because I know there are thousands, if not millions of people are out there that are willing to do the work and what it takes for us to rise again as a people. I know some of you saw my post the other day. I was down in Texas, Fort Hood, when Enron went under. And the front page of the paper was a 59 and 60-year-old husband and wife, worked for Enron their whole lives, who lost everything. They had to start over. No pension, no job, lost their house. I made a declaration to myself that day that would not be me. I don't want anything on paper. I want something tangible. That's what got me into real estate. I'm going to give that gift to thousands of people as I travel this great country next year. I'm going to share my wisdom. I'm going to share the gift of how to fix these properties. Because they are all over the country, sitting there, rotting away. And most of those homes were built for the World War II veterans who came home. And you'll see them. Most of them are built on slabs, Cape Cods. And my cousin Don's house is one of them. That's a World War II home. They came and started building all these houses for the soldiers when they came home. Now they're just sitting there. You know, Detroit took a big hit when the automakers went out of business. We're going deep today because I went deep yesterday thinking about those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. I have nothing to complain about. Nothing. Zero. I'm going to ask you, the little things that you're complaining about today that are holding you back, to surrender and let them go. Today. They no longer serve you. Playing the victim will never get you out of that rut. I compare it to being stuck in the mud. Your tires are just spinning. Playing the victim. Where can you be the victor? What can you do today to move a little bit closer to what you want? It's not about where you were, it's about where you're going. But we like to hang on to that old story. You are not your story. That is somebody else's story that was ingrained into you. I let my story go 3 years ago. I was playing that victim role. But I chose to take a different path. That's one thing, and we are the only species on the earth, the human race, that has the opportunity every day to choose and decide. Every day you have a choice to choose your path or wallow in the mud and say, woe is me. And the worst thing in my mind that any of us can do is go to our final resting place with regrets. On your deathbed, saying, I should have, I could have, what was I waiting for? The perfect time? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I'd rather see you fall down 100 times and get back up, and eventually we will figure it out. So thank you to all you veterans. Dan Churchill. Thank you. And I know I'm missing a lot of you out there. Thank you. From a grateful heart. For my freedom today. I will get stronger. I will get wiser. And I will fight until they put me in the ground. So we've been called to a higher purpose. It's no longer about us. It's about all of us. Rising is going to make that difference. Brother Miguel, get ready. Brother Robert, get ready. Brother Kari, get ready. And all you brothers, you come to make a difference. So we've been called to lead, to be the voice, to be the light, to end the suffering. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for sharing these messages. Anybody logging on down here below? What's up, Brother Ruben? Thank you for your service. James Clapp, thank you, brother. Brother Ruben's still serving out there. I know you've been drifting, brother. Ed Fowler, thank you, brother. Paul, Cousin Jared, I see your picture there, Dad, man. Good stuff. Scott Lumley, thank you for what you're doing, brother. Keep going out there traveling around in that bus. Sandra, Doug, Alex Resendez, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. My beautiful queen. Thank you. Chris, Joey, what's up, brother? Joey Stiletto down there in Florida. Tracy Waldron, thank you for your father, Tracy. He was the first person I met when I came back here from serving. Man of X-Men. He helped me tremendously. I'll never forget him. Michael, Georgia, what's up? Fran, what's up, David? You fix it. We're waiting for you to join, brother. Stop hiding. Jason Malaguti, what's up, brother? But freedom, my man. Freedom, my brothers and sisters, is never free. There's always a price to pay. There's always a price to pay. Thank you for the love. I see the likes. I see the loves here. I ask you to send love to somebody today. Just make a stranger feel loved. You never know what people are going through. Being a light in a world filled with darkness is the greatest gift you can be. Volunteer at that soup kitchen. I know Thanksgiving's coming up. If any of you have never volunteered, I know Johnny Weber, congratulations, just became the principal down there at Ace Alternative here in Danbury. He does it every year. They're down there in front of the cows outside. They're giving away clothes, jackets. Met him down there a couple of years ago. Thank you. All those little things, guys, is what matters most. Because if you pay it forward to somebody else, they're going to give them the permission to go pay it forward to help somebody else. And in the end, we will rise as one. Thank you. I honor you. I love you. Peace.